What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And in this particular video, I will be reviewing Euphoria Season 1, Episode 5. Shout out to my YouTube fam. And if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to thumbs up the video and your notification. Also, you subscribe, ding, 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 notification. You got to hit the bell too so you get notifications. Anyway, y'all, I've realized I found a couple things. Number one, they have 8 episodes instead of 7, so my fault, my little error. Also, second, I just found out last night I did a little Google search and found out that the show, thank goodness, is picked up for a second season. Especially we're halfway mid there, and we got 3 more episodes left. And we're gonna have some cliffhangers, and it still seems like certain characters that needs the little background, you know, uh, little case, and their little scenario, like about certain people, like with doing Alessi and Cassie together, what they do one on Fez. We already got Cat Robot, that girl that hangs out with Cat and Maddie sometimes, and I still don't know what her name is. Which should be put up behind. Like why every time we see Lexi's and Cassie's mom, she always has a wine glass with some wine in it. I think it's wine. But anyways, y'all, let's get into it. Of course, I'm a couple of days late. Sorry about that, but sometimes like I said, sometimes reviews we a little later on. It's so much to be said about this episode, which is getting more interesting. But let's take it there. Okay. What we're starting to realize is Rue is in a relationship or an addictionship. That's the word I made up. With Jules. Meaning that it's not that, I mean, Jules one time did pop some pills with her, before when they, first met, whatever. But the dependency in some people that does occur, they have one addictions, like, as far as like when they talk about drugs, they consider those chemicals. If it's like process addictions, it'll be considered as shopping, gambling, and so forth. Okay. So yeah. So some people choose and replace another addiction or with their addictions with another one, or just replace it or go back and forth, whatever. So as far as right now, currently, the new addiction is Jules. Okay. Or maybe Rules might have feelings more for Jules that is natural. But it seems like Jules is just like, okay, I like her because she's not trying to hurt me at the moment, type of thing, and she understands me. And even though a couple of people have hung out with Jules, it seemed like Rue and her are still kind of like considered the black sheep. Because, even though, like I said, it seemed like the person that Rue used to be kind of around back in the day and not as much was Lexi. Okay. So we get in the point like, the weekend after. But at first, we're talking about Maddie. And Maddie was in the pageant world and stuff. They showed the scene how she was in the pageant world, and you had to be the most prettiest, the most brightest, the most tallest, the most brightest, blah, blah, blah. But it all came coming down when there was somebody, one of these beauty pageant managers, up there touching the kids and arrested. And her mom was watching the screen. She was like, no more, cut it. Then Maddie kind of was a point she got used to being covered. She'd be on her phone, but she kind of liked being where she didn't have to do nothing. And then she got adjusted to being where she didn't really want to do anything, even though the words weren't used as far as being a kept woman. But that's where she would strive to be, is to be like a kept woman. Okay, she, that's the point where after the back of the beauty pageant thing. So it's interesting that she ended up doing cheerleading after kind of like she just lost her drive. Now, also with her parents, her dad is there, but what Rue described, she was the narrator usually at the beginning of these episodes. That the dad be in between jobs and just drinking alcohol, and then she'll go to mom. I don't know if the mom owns the shop or she works the shop as manager, whatever we're at. But she basically was like, manicured and did, pedicures for rich women and stuff. And then, Maddie was, absorbing, I think she was like, what, preteen, teen, tweens or something. And noticing all these women who come in there and it's like they're just there. She paid just their clothes, but it's like, their life is they're just being kept and stuff like that. So that was the mind frame. That's the guys, that was, the guy she was wanting to keep her kept, keep her nice and pretty things and flashy things, okay? So we go on to the episode where kind of like how she ended with Nate. She was interested in Nate as well, and Nate always used to give her flowers, all the stuff every day, blah blah blah, whatever. In this, and when it got to turn when she was about to lose her virginity, y'all, which I'm not surprised. It turned out that they showed that she originally had sex. They didn't show the actual scene, but she met some guy who was like 40 years old, so it was definitely a Clint Hansen thing, another statutory rape. It's no right then and there, okay, and that she lost virginity to a grown ass, stick ass man. Okay, so but they have this scene where he's having sex, and again, that's his third or fourth time we've seen. Every time him and Maddie's having sex, Nate and Maddie's having sex, he's always in that same position the dad had on the tapes. But I was surprised, based on the previews, it made it seem like possibly the tapes got brought up, but maybe that'll be in the season finale. Who knows? But that wasn't what's brought up. So there was even showing like she was watching, the famous movie, y'all seen the movie Casino with Sharon Strong. It was based on a true story, and Rob De Niro and all them. Who else? Joe. I can't even think of. Okay, but she wanted that coat that Sharon Stone had. But like I said, Sharon Stone was like her spirit animal because she was like, again, a kept woman. She was in charge, but she was a kept woman. And she wanted that coat. And Nate come from money, okay? So he was like, oh, you want that coat? So after she took her to a place that was like supposed to be, I don't know if it was Red Lobster or somewhere, or Mama Pop's Red Lobster, but she was able to get the biggest lobster and every darn thing. He ended up getting her that coat, okay? So we fast forward to now that they show her with those bruises around her neck. And Rue was like, it wasn't the scary thing about the violence. Is the fact is, regardless what Nate did, she always would love that man. Or possibly have the infatuation or dependency on him. So anyways, she takes a test. I think it's pre-cal's one of her classes, right? Her and Cat first meet. If Cat got glasses on, I like that Cat's lipstick, whatever. They walk to the classes, whatever, and they talking like, hey B, hey B, whatever, why you got on that stuff there, because Maddie got turtleneck up here, she got shades on, she got a hood on, and every darn thing. Okay, and she goes to class, but she says she's on a period. But she even asked his teacher, is there any AC or something that's not in the woman said, the teacher was like, take your hood off. Anyway, after everybody left the class, she liked this, whatever, right? Because it turns out the side effects are the withdrawal from Molly. She liked this. She didn't eat or sleep or eat or drink anything in the whole rest of the weekend, and she was on her cycle and all this stuff. So the teacher like, Maddie, she just like, Matt, and then they called and had her on a stretcher, and because she actually woke up the night before, 3 hours early when you scheduled, trying to use all these concealers to try to, conceal the bruises, not just a bruise, the bruises on her neck. And what happened was the school nurse and stuff, when you're up here obviously checking to see what's wrong, they noticed the bruise. So they sent back to the principal in the office. She sent to the principal, called there first. And she's trying to brush it off like, okay, there's nothing wrong, blah, 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 or whatever, right? That type of talk. And then he ends up talking to other students, and one, but like I said, even though she told two people, it was somebody I don't call it. Is that the girl who we don't know really what her name is in the clip with her or somebody? She was like, well, that's because Nate's gay one person. And Nate was like, no, I seen that he was talking because and then another guy talking about, oh, well, he mad because she smashed somebody else or something like that, whatever. So then somebody said, well, that's he attacked the girl who slashed her arm. And so they had Jules down. Jules like, I don't know what you're talking about. I forgot to mention because I always going to forget one thing for the last episode. When he kissed the Jules, I didn't pay attention that he also started sticking his thumb down her throat. Jules like, get away from me. And that's when he was like, you're broken. You don't know how broken you are, type of thing, and all this other stuff. But yeah, so he might know about the tape too. But this time the tape was not brought up this episode. You know what I mean? Well, But so Jules is like, I know what you're talking about. So they had, because they had Cal. He got a call from his wife. She sounded hysterical. Cal's making his money, whatever, whatever. He comes to the school, and the guy, I don't know what TV show he used to be on. Was it Drew Carey? I don't know who he was, but he used to be. like a comedian or he like be on more comedy shows, was a policeman with the mom. So they went to go get Nate, because the principal, like I said, was trying to get her to admit that it was Nate. She said no. He said, "You're 17 and I'm accountable. That I'm gonna have, something gonna have to be done about this." So that's when they started the investigation. So Cal, had to go to the bathroom and throw up whatever for a second, vomit, and then, he went to go because they said, "Go talk to your son before we take him to the station, whatever. You're going to have to go there." Because Maddie's mom was like, "We pressing charges. We pressing charges, okay?" And Maddie's like, "No, no, no. You were talking about he hasn't done nothing, blah, blah, blah. You can't do this. Yeah, what? No. Sad, but I mean, so they take him to the, when Cal goes to see Nate and talk to him, he's asking him, "Did you do this, son?" And he paused, looked down. But he's like, "No," and there was something inaudible. Okay. But then he asked him again. He was like, "Did you, Cal's like, did you confess it?" He's like, "No." And he's like, "Did you do it?" And he was like, okay, 30 seconds later. He like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, we're going to leave out of here and I'm going to be right behind you, son. You're sticking your head up high and blah, blah, blah." So they walk in, past the study area, cafeteria, pass down, Rule and Jules is at the table, and they, whatever, talk a little bit, and then as soon as they went past, like to 2 seconds, Jules looks up, Nate looked for 2 seconds, then his dad looked for 2 seconds, Jules, and they kept going, they walking to the station, okay, so, anyways, you know, I think that's when Rue was asking Jules, she still can't believe that, she has screwed, Nate's dad or whatever. She's like, "Shh, would you hush? Stop, cut it, okay?" And she's like, and she basically tell, "Please make sure you never tell nobody, nada, nothing that what had occurred between." And she was like, "I don't care if you hate me or something like that." And Rule's like, "Why would I hate you and stuff, whatever?" But she brought up, I think, again one more time. Jules like, "I had to go to the bathroom." Felt kind of upset about it, and they had talked later on. But it was also another scene that, even though they're supposed to be taking it slow, because the mom in between, Rules and Gia's mom, asked her, about the fear about her being sick, and they just changed the subject and asked, and the mom asked about, "Oh, so Jewel was here the other night," because they also saw another scene right before, because sometimes they go back and forth, and then they go like currently in the future, and then into the other kids' stories, and then you see Rule like this, but you see her completely covered, like, but you just see this movie. But first, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I thought when she was talking about first, she said opioids, usually is usually her favorite. Now she realized she likes fentanyl, but now she would focus on Jules, and she was just there showing clips of Jules, whatever. So she was jilling. I'll leave it as that, jilling. But I thought that when she was talking about Jules, I thought Jules was down there. I'll leave it as that. I thought she was down there, but no, Rule was jilling about Jules. Okay, um, so like I said, the mom actually was cool about it, even though she asked to where her and Rue, a couple later on. Gee, they all must have watched TV with their mom, and G is asleep on one side of the bed. Mom was like braiding Rue's hair for a second. She just said, "You came a long way. You're delicate, Rue. Just take it slow." And Rue's like, "Okay, we are, Mom." So she actually likes Jules. Rue's mom does as well. And also, it's another scene where Rule and her, I mean, not Rules, Jules. See, the names rhyme too much. Jules and her daddy are at a Chinese restaurant. They really knew how to work the chopsticks. And the daddy asking like, "So is you and Rule a thing?" And Rule a thing. And Jules like, "We're not a thing." I don't know if she was offended by that word, or truth be told, to a certain point, she really is like in this relationship. Be more so like I said, Rule might have more feelings for Jules than Jules has Rule in terms of romantic side. And she's like, "We're not a thing," or something like that. And he was saying something, "Oh, maybe we get together, like I guess the parents can go out and they can go out like some type, like family slash, date with the she's like, there's some families go together." She's like, "No, whatever." But it's mm-mm. Besides that tattoo, but again, that little boy that is Faz's brother or uncle or cousin, whoever he is he really a child, or he's one of those people have the conditions where they look like a child, but they grown as hell and they can actually rent a car and possibly get a mortgage in their own name? Is he that old enough? Because you have to talk tattoos. I've been doing it for years, so because they got matching tattoos right here. I think it said rule or rules on it. I don't know. And Rule got her first, and then she was able to convince Jules. Like, first Jules was like, I'm not gonna do it. Like it, whatever. And it was another time. I know I'm going backward, and then I'll go back to Nate's and them story. It was another time where it showed that the same day that Jules got upset with Rules slash Nate got taken to the station, they were talking a little bit. And then we go to this history because Rules asking all the questions about Jules about how many, one night stands she's had. And I think we got an estimate around 20 and then left alone. But Jules was like, it's not that much. She started asking about Rules' sexual history. And then I was like, yeah, it's Rule. Is she a virgin or what's going on here? We don't know how, is she sexually active or not. So by the time I think by middle school or right in middle school, she kissed the boy when 12 years old. She gave about 4 hand jobs. By the time she got into junior high or something like that, mid junior high, then she gave 2 blow jobs. One blow job, she was BJ. She was kind of coerced or kind of like bullying him. God was like, "I'm going to tell anyway that you gave me, that you blew my balloons. So are you gonna give me a BJ or not?" Asking her, I think around the same age she was. And then at 15, she drunk some beers and blah 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 whatever. You just see her moving like this with old t-shirts on and stuff. And the guy right next to her, he butt naked with his clothes and the drawers down to his ankles. And he was like, "It's good for you." So she lost her virginity, but that's the only time. So she's been, still doing sexual activity, and all sex still count. But as far, she had like if people went by penetration or something like that. I mean, she lost her virginity, and that's the furthest she had as far. And that seemed like the last time she had any sexual activity with anybody else other than herself. I guess. So anyway, but that was it. But Jules, they ask a question: have you loved somebody, or do y'all love something like that? And they go to the next scene. So another scene is we got Kat, and Kat was talking to I don't know, so it's just kind of like a dominant. She has this relationship like he is her slave to a certain point, or Cash Pig is the guy called. We're gonna call him Cash Pig, and she's talking to him. But right before that, it was another scene that she's starting to become more heartless. Like she's confident, but she feels like she needs sex in order to be confident. At least that's how I'm taking it. So she ends up talking, like still sits next to Ethan. He was like, "Hi, I tried texting you one time. Oh, I didn't get it. I tried texting you a bunch of times. Oh, I still didn't get it." And she's just kind of giving a cold shoulder, just watching whatever the teacher says. He was like, "Well, is anything wrong?" She just brushing them off. And she realized, and when she talks to her Cash Pig, and it's talking about she had sex with this guy, and she was like, how he nutted and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't know him that well. You did not go to somewhere to get STDs because y'all not sitting away with nothing. She's had nothing on her stomach. So if he skeet on her stomach, that means that she most likely did not have that child, like no condom. And that means she up here like, girl, you better be careful now, raw dog and stuff. You end up with some gangrene in your cooch. I'm just saying, you need to be careful and stuff. She talking about liberate freedom. Shoot. Saying like that was there was no comment, but she was just feeling like even though when she was venting with her mask on, talking, getting her Cash Pig, and he's up there smoking a cigarette or something or whatever, and she explained like even though she had sex with this guy who had this reputation and he graduated high school, she realized like again basically like how all guys are pathetic or something like that, and she told the guy like you want to be able to nut this time, I want something on the Amazon list. And he's like, okay, I'll take care of that, and so she realize like she feels like being big, and being big, fat, whatever, and not giving a pluck about what society says is really confident. And she was like having confidence and stuff, whatever. Because yeah, she also said that to the Cash Pig too. That's his name, I remember. He called us up that. I didn't. So she ends up seeing the guy again. He's like, "Hi, the one that she got me clothes for. She was having like a, fantasizing about having a relationship in the dressing room with." And he's all talking to her like, "You know what? I thought you said you were around here." She was like, well, So he's like, "You want to hang out?" She was like, "Sure." So we got the Maddie scene there at the police station. Homegirl is like, the lady's trying to talk to her. I don't know what she was, a detective or something. And she's like, "You're going to have to take off your shirt. If not, we'll take it off for you." She's like, "I don't give a damn. You're not going to do anything. How you think you're going to do this? You're not going to take it off." They restrained her, had to handcuff her, hands, shoulders, knees, and toes down there, and had to cut off the shirt, and they started using the alcohol to take concealer, wiping off or makeup room or something on that. Took it off to take all the bruises. And you got Nate and Cal in the next room, and I knew that even if he got in trouble, he wasn't going to be like arrested, because they're basically, he just said, I took her arm, which at the time most people seen that was he just snatched her arm like away after she did that stuff, to the chili stand of her parents. And he was like, well, that was it. And I mean, she was on Molly or something like that. I don't know if it's pure or not, because I don't use drugs. And I mean, every time that, when we break up, she was someone else, but in something this stopped. And he was like, I think the policeman or his dad was like, would y'all gonna say something? Would you gonna say something? It was like, no. And also I forgot that too is not besides that guy, but they were saying a couple times, at least 3 times, she smashed 3 other dudes. But that was also supposedly when her and Nate were off, she would go off and you know, have get off with somebody else for a second. She even has. I forgot to mention when they were talking about the little, her little story that she even used to watch porn so she can learn how to, learn moves. So it really makes the guy feel great during sex and you get what she wants. Okay. So, anyways, fast forward. So after he's Nate said what he said, even though he was not arrested, I think he suspended all the football team into the investigation this there, whatever. I don't know if he was suspended from school. Then it shows Maddie, she wearing that damn fur that he got her stuff. They're looking like Joe and the scammer damn near. But she's all distraught. She's trying to call, Nate for so many days. You see clothes all on the floor. She's sitting up here, looking like she's been in a sauna for 4 hours straight, with the fur jacket on, how she just everywhere and just distraught. And they must have had like some so-called, like orientation or something. The class was showing about domestic violence or something with her and in the class, whatever, a story about a domestic violence survivor that happens to be a woman. And I noticed that Jules and Rue in the back of the class, and Lexi turns around and you see those two. And I'm just like, okay, does Lexi like, because they also, that was Rue's one of her sexual experience too, was showing Lexi how to French kiss a guy for a couple minutes or whatever the heck it was, and that was it. And then like Lexi left or whatever to go with some guy or something. I don't know. So, anyways, we also have to talk with Ali and Rue. And Ali, is letting her know like she's already still have planned. He was like basically trying to prepare her, like, you gotta be ready when she leaves, not if, when. And Rue's already planning like, well, I'm gonna go where she go. We just, we gonna get a place together. And Ali said one of the truest things in most cases does happen. Things change when high school ends, okay? Even though, my class meeting about to come up next month. Like I said, I ain't going to that. But 9 times out of 10, most people you cool with in high school or hooked up, whatever the case is, or even had a relationship with or whatever, it's very seldom that they stay around in your 20s, let alone in your 30s and beyond and stuff. It's very seldom, okay? Or I ain't cool. All my darn best friends, supposed to have a friend social. I don't we moved on. Shoot. So that's what I'm saying is, and I've seen this so many times with my own eyes and just personally and just seeing a lot of people where they may say hi and bye, but it's very seldom I personally seen that a lot of people be, where how you think in high school, who you around in high school, middle school, and or elementary school under, you may not be the same way. Even sometimes relatives you might have grew up with, y'all might grow, might not be as close as y'all was when y'all was kids being raised together. But anyways, so they show another scene. Rue, like I said, really wants the course to work. So she goes back to the NA meeting, and Allie there. She explains and truthfully that she's been lying, that she has been sober, and she's been sober for 13 days, but who has helped her is this girl. And Ali told me that it's not going to work, but he was like, she hopes that it does work, hope that he's wrong and it does work with him, because that's what he's concerned about is, okay, if this relationship doesn't work out, slash, the addiction, he didn't say addiction to her, but that's pretty much what it is, what's going to happen, you know? So anyways, um, she has that. And she rides past Lexi's house. She texts her like, I'm sorry I haven't really been in a friend, whatever, but I will make it up to you. And keeps riding her bike. And Lexi has a smile on her face, getting in the text. Also, at the same time, we see Cal again. He's picked up somebody came late. He already has a champagne out with another one of his, friends, whatever. Some guy, I forgot what his name is, but he said he was from Planet Venus or something. And right was getting ready, he got his little music playing, not Cal, but the guy, and he some music was trying to truck on Cal. Cal was like, okay, hold on, I just want to talk for a second. The guy like, what you want to talk about? His wife. He comes to him, start massaging his head. It's the kids, and he said he has two boys, and he just like was wondering like, is this affecting his kids and stuff? And the guy is kind of already kind of looking like, okay, let me smoke my cigarette. I didn't come here to counsel. I came here to relieve him of some stress. So he's just like this, that's exactly what the guy says. It's like a little bit after, Cal like venting a little bit. And he like, okay, you want to get this going and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I'm ready to relieve that stress, okay? So I wonder if Cal had the camcorder this time. Like I didn't know he secretly had it with Jules. They didn't show the actual tape, but that's what it's coming up with. So, anyways, we see Lexi and Jules and Rue all go like on a, to the roller skating ring. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Forgive me. I tried a couple times hearing it. I didn't hear what Lexi had said to Jules when Rule ended up going one more time roller skating. Something like, "Oh, she's really good at roller skating" or something like that. Lexi says something, but whatever it is, Jules and this is after she already had to talk with her dad and stuff, whatever. Jules was like, "You know what? I gotta go to the bathroom." She kind of looked like kind of upset or distraught or something. So by the way, Kat later on is with the guy talking to him. And he was all asking, like, you're creative. He just talking to be flirting. She was like, you want to hook up? And he's like, I didn't expect that. She was like, okay. This guy didn't even ask her age. The other guy, even though he was foul, Prince Hanson needed to pull up on him, he asked her age, not like it mattered anyway. This guy didn't ask no age or nothing. He was like, oh, okay. So when Maddie is just like so distraught and she's driving and stuff, whatever, right? And already around this time, also around the same time, Casey is with McRae, Chris, but they back together. He apologized. He should have been there for her. But early on, when all this stuff would happen with Nate, going back to it, Daniel, which I found when I read an article, that's the same Daniel that dumped Kat because she gained 20 pounds on an 8-day trip when she was younger. He kissed her and she was like, I got a boyfriend and stuff, just let it be, whatever. And he's like, hopefully, we can hang out again or something later. She just smiled and kept going. And so she was saying something to Craig like, some pics in her phone. So it has been starting to spread out a little bit about the phone thing. Because when that same week, I guess after the investigation, occurred, of course, during that week, she asked Mallory, like, did you tell me about the pictures? And somebody else has asked Casey. It was a couple people that know about it. Not everybody, of course, about, all these D pics. And they're not Nate's. Okay. And I don't know if Cass told anybody neither. Because the only two people that Mallory told was Kat and Cassie. Okay, so Cassie was bringing to Mallory like, didn't you tell me about Nate and these mysterious all these DPs? She was like, no, you are on Molly, and so you better not come into me then basically threatening stuff like that. Like, you better not say no stuff like that. That is a lie. That did not happen. You are in your own delusional world. Basically, how she did Cassie. So Cassie did bring it up real quick because McCrae thought he was talking when she was talking about him in the car. They were going somewhere or whatever. He was like, what picture you talking about? But he kind of just brushed it off after that. Okay. And then it didn't get brought up again. And then I guess they were at Casey's, no, not Casey's, McCrae's house, I think. Nate calling him for something. And he was like, yeah, something, whatever, bro. What you need? Something. And it kind of went back to the hotel, the last scene. Because, like I said, yeah, Rue kind of like wasn't there, well, besides the roller skating thing, whatever. They after Lexi goes home, they ride, and then first I think they're in front of Rue's house, and she was trying to get Jules to come there. She was like, "Well, can I come there?" She was like, "Yeah, sure," or something. But it just seemed like already she's already not liking how this relationship is going or the dependency is going. And based on the previews, it's not gonna go to. It's gonna go downhill just as quick as it came up. And anyway, so Nate finally, when Maddie's driving, she tried to call Kat. Kat is like, you know what? I can't be right now. And this kind of messed up. This man's like, please, I need to talk. I need to come over where you're at. Oh my gosh, she's driving. It's all belligerent and stuff. And she like, I'm driving. Can you please? Can I come over there? Kat's like, I'm taking care of something right now. And she's in the car with the guy, and she like, okay, so the guy pulls his pan down, and she proceeds to blow his balloons. And I think even if I would have timed it, it was less than 48 seconds, and she already sucked the soul out of him, I guess. And he was like, "That was the best blowjob in the world," because I was like, "Dang, that was 48 seconds." Dang, okay, whatever. Anyways, so she gets out of the car, feeling all liberated and stuff, and I'm like, okay, walking off, whatever. Well, she, blows his balloons and just keeps going. And so, like I said, Kat wants to be liberated, sexually liberated. So, okay. So, after that, Cal obviously decides to finally finish off whatever he was doing. He leaves the hotel, motel, whatever. That's his spot. And like I said, after Mallory tried to get in touch with Kat, she obviously, I think she already slammed the brakes. She almost called somebody to hit the back of her car and so when she left. Because right before I think that happened, when she left the house already, her and her mama got in an argument. The mama, I think, was talking to her in Spanish and stuff like that, telling her about, that BS, like he don't love you and stuff like that. And she's comparing, like, there's passion of what basically her and Nate have. Compared to dad just sitting up there. The dad is like, no dance, even though she's insulting, cussing, not cussing at mom, calling her out her name, but she's cussing like in front of her mom, like effing this and blah blah blah. This is ridiculous. And look, y'all don't even talk to the dad like this. Dad is like just taking one to the head, still just like this, looking at the TV, okay, or what is the TV, or whatever. And so she, I guess, ends up leaving, and then, like I said, finally, because she's trying to text Nate one over 273 times, he not answering one. And finally, she looked at something, I don't know, it was Facebook Messenger or something. He finally said, beep, beep, up the hotel. So as soon as Cal pulls out of the hotel, he almost missed him out. Unless Nate seen his vehicle, didn't pay attention. As soon as Cal goes to the right this way, here comes Cal, which it was not Cal, but Nate pulling up, and he up here, and the guy that, a cow was just with, he's sitting there smoking, like, hey, handsome, but Nate don't say nothing to him. He going, I guess, to the other way or going to another room. And so he goes to the room, and then at the door, here's Maddie, and how they, hug and reminisce and all it together again, and they damage and ass stuff. And pretty much, I think at the end of the episode, it's like here Rue is in Jules' arm, but Rue, like I said, has the look on her face like she's not really happy about the relationship going. To kind of ends with credit. I could have sworn it was a scene where Jules was at the end, like she looking like, what the hell I get myself into type of look. Okay, but yeah, so Maddie and Nate reconciled, and we taping it. But that's about it, y'all. Hugs and loves, everybody. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all next week. And let me go ahead and go to bed and take care of y'all. But are y'all gonna look forward to next season? I am. Hopefully I'll be able to review it next season. But anyway, y'all take care.